guys, so today is Discovery Friday in our KW Virtual Garden Land Meets the Sea Week. So today we're going to be talking about mangroves, red mangroves, which we've talked a lot about this week, and specifically how they reproduce. So red mangroves are super special in the sense that they're actually considered to be viviparous. So just like us, viviparous means that they give live birth. So what does that mean for a tree, right? So basically, during this time is peak season for propagules. So you'll see these bean kind of shaped seeds that are hanging off of these red mangrove trees. Right now is their peak season in like late spring, early summer kind of time. And what is so special about these? It's just like any other seed that you'd find in a tree, right? Well, they're different because they're actually fully germinated and they're basically just little baby trees. So that's why they're considered to be viviparous. So these propagules, they'll form, they come from the flowers of the tree. You can kind of see the remnants of the flower at the top here. The propagule will grow out, hang off the tree just like this, and eventually it'll fall off into the water. And at that point they look like this. So at first these guys will float on the surface of the water. As a plant, one of the things you want for your offspring is to spread out, right? So we've talked before about how wind, water, animals can all help plants spread their seeds. So in this case, water is helping our red mangroves spread their seeds. The propagule will float on the surface of the water. This side will fill up with water, so then it'll float vertically just like this. Eventually, that propagule will sink or find a shallow spot where it can launch its claw root. So it'll root itself into the ground, like some of these that you can see kind of sitting vertically in the water column over here. And then they'll sprout up fairly quickly. So we have an example back here of a mangrove propagule that started to sprout. You can see its little leaves coming up out of here. They'll come up pretty quickly over that high tide mark so that they can start growing and spreading their seeds. Here's another one that's a little bit further along, until eventually they become a full adult red mangrove that can produce their own propagule. Now something else that Miss Nicole found when we came down to this little area that's just kind of cool to see is this comes from a horseshoe crab. So this is part of its carapace. And horseshoe crabs are a pretty common sight around these mangrove ecosystems. They're more closely related to spiders than they are even to crabs. These guys have been around for an extremely long time. On their carapace on the top, they have 10 eyes. So they have 2 compound eyes that they primarily use to see. And then they have 8 other eyes throughout their carapace that they mostly use to detect changes in light. So one thing that's really important for these guys is knowing when the full moon happens, because during mating season, there'll be one night, a full moon, where a bunch of these horseshoe crabs will come up on shore. All at one time, they'll cover the beaches, and the females will walk around, they'll dig nests to lay their eggs in. Males will attach themselves to the backs of these females and then come and fertilize those eggs as the female moves on. And there'll be a bunch of other males called satellite males that kind of go around and follow these mating pairs as well and try to sneak in and fertilize their eggs too. So it's a huge event, and that's what they use these eyes for. Also, horseshoe crab blood is really important. It's used in a lot of medicine, so a lot of like research for new medicines, things like that. So one other cool thing to kind of keep your eye out for if you're looking around these mangrove habitats here. So thanks for joining me for Discovery Friday. I hope that you guys can share what you find around your house as well.